I'm kidding. All right, welcome to Fiddler Talk. I'm your host, Saber Main with Reaper 1. I hope you enjoy that. You know, characters are really coming out right now. So, we are kind of in the midst of things. I think we're improving. On this. I think we're going places. Look, slowly but surely, soon we'll build traction. The algorithm. Learning the algorithm is crazy. We don't have a team that understands the algorithm, so we have to figure it out ourselves. But that's what's working. All right, so we're gonna recap on a little bit of stuff that we have talk about on their stuff. But there is something that I wanted to bring up. Have you heard of the Jimmy Campbell Challenge?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
You sent me the video.
Oh yeah, I definitely sent you that video. So let's see. I think it's hilarious. Let me get you your name. So I think it's kind of hilarious with the Jimmy Campbell Challenge. All right. Dude he broke the internet twice. And the second time, it's because he talked about herpes. Come on now. Are we really going to talk about he got herpes 3 times? Come on, you can only get herpes 1 time.
Everybody loves herpes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, spread the herpes around. We all want it.
Spread the love, man.
All right. Kind of recap on some of the stuff that we have talked about. We talked a little bit about leadership. Not too much, not in depth.
Tiny bit.
Not in depth in leadership. All right,
leadership. Leadership's great.
Yes. Look, some are naturally born leaders and others have to build to become leaders. So, what do you put yourself? Do you think you're a leader?
Naturally, it's hard to say, man. I think everybody is naturally a leader in something. I think it takes forever to figure out what that something is, right? Because you could be a leader in the kitchen and you have no idea. You know, if you've never cooked before, you never know, right? If you've never cooked in a kitchen before, on the line, you would never know. One day you get to the line and take over. It could just consume you and like that's it. You're leading, you're commanding the whole kitchen in a matter of days and take everybody by surprise, So I think it really depends on what you're doing to figure out if you're a natural born leader. I think you're a natural born leader. I think everybody can be a natural born leader in something. It doesn't matter what it is, you know what I mean? I think everybody has that leadership capability. I don't think everybody has the natural ability to be a leader in everything. And that's where the line kind of draws, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a skill that you can learn, right? So I'm going to call you out. Hey, Reaper 1, I'm going to call you out real fast. So, Reaper 1, it's actually kind of funny that you brought up kitchens because Reaper 1 is like the ultimate cook. Believe it or not, he's the ultimate cook. I remember
I might be able to take. I'm not the ultimate cook, but I might be able to take the trophy for ultimate barracks cook.
Hey,
different skill, man. Different skill.
Hey, bring Dave Ramsey over. Isn't it Dave Ramsey, the cook, the chef?
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. All right, bring him.
Dave?
Yes. Hey, I don't care his name. He's not important. Hey, him in the barracks. Let's see who can win. Competition. Let's go. Make it happen. Call him out right now.
That's okay. I'm not that good of a cook. I'm learning, though. Learning every day.
Look.
I love cooking, and I haven't cooked for a long time. It's kind of sad.
Hey, man.
Besides my meal prep, obviously.
Yeah. Reaper 1 literally put a whole Thanksgiving together in the barracks. Tell me how you could cook in the barracks without a freaking oven or a stove.
You weren't here last year. You weren't there last year, but last year I did a turkey and 2 hams.
God, man.
Same day, too. 2 hams. That's crazy. I had all kinds of things going on there.
Look, if you're in the barracks somewhere and you're making this happen, I want to know. I want to know how you're doing it. I want to know little tricks because this is for real. It's also believe it or not, he would make during the weekends. Reaper 1 would make lunch dinners for us, and we would all gather around. And of course, we drink.
Careful, I'm blushing.
Yeah. we sit there and drink, and Reaper 1 doesn't drink, all right? So, and we don't actually, I don't even know how it started. Like, what actually got that started?
Well, it's a cool story, right? So, excuse me. It was me and two other buddies, one tanker, one scout. I can call McKinley out. Calling him out. I'll call Vieira out too. I don't care.
Hey, go ahead.
Right? So it was all three of us. It was our first year, like, we had just got out of basic. We just went to Korea. Like, we're by ourselves. It's still our own little group, right? Because we didn't really know anybody at the time. So we're sitting in Korea on Thanksgiving, and we're in the Iron Triangle. It's like maybe 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And we're just talking. We went there. We all got, like, fried rice. They bring you that big plate of fried rice.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, like 3 or 4 pounds of rice? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there eating, and I remember specifically, like, we're kind of writing down what we want to do next year. And I'm like, look, guys, I know a thing or two about cooking. Like, and at the time, right, I really didn't cook. You open a can of spaghetti sauce, a jar anyways. You boil the noodles and you put it all together, right? I never really cooked, like, I won't say professionally, but from scratch before. And I'm like, look, guys, like, I know a little bit about cooking, and next year we could probably do something really small. Right? And I was, like, thinking, like, going to get some chicken and, like, some, you know what I mean? Like making something small, obviously. Like, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, right? So when I got back, COVID had hit, right? And we were all quarantined.
Yeah.
So I went to the store and I got a skillet. We weren't allowed to have hot plates and skillets, but I did it anyways, right? Because I'm a good leader. No, I'm just kidding. So I went, I got one, and right, it was really funny because while everybody's, I had to walk from my barracks to McKinley's, and it was like, it was like 3 buildings over. But at the time, remember at the time, we were in the overflow barracks for Hood.
Yes.
So everybody was going to get chow from the DFAC. Nobody could leave and go get actual food. And it's funny because I was carrying my skillet. I was carrying my skillet with, like, burgers and, like, buns and, like, all kinds of condiments down in McKinley's room. We'd eat, chill out, and play cards all night. And everybody was just like, "Oh, what you cooking, man?" I'd be like, nothing. Don't worry about it."
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of when I started cooking. And from there, I just cooked for everybody every night.
Look, man.
The more people came up, the more food I made. You know what I mean?
Exactly. All I got to say is, during those times, when they deliver food, that sucked. That food wasn't that good.
It was much less than regular DFAC food.
I now see why people started going around. All I gotta say,
the really big thing is, I was homeschooled, man. I had never been to school, and by the time I got in the military, like, it was such, like, a mind explosion shock that I had no idea. I had no friends. I didn't know how to make friends. And so at the time, man, like, when everybody, like, wanted to come hang out because I was cooking, I started doing it more and more and more just to get people to come and hang out.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, that's how we became friends. I was cooking. That's how me and him became friends. I gave him week leftover fajitas at 4 o'clock in the morning one day, and he was like drunk. He was drunk as hell, and he was like, he's like, "You're my best friend, man. You gotta cook for me all the time." He proposed to me. He proposed. I accept it.
Yes. And look at you today. Look where you're at today.
Right?
All bad.
It's just kind of, it was one of those things. That's how it started, man. I had no idea how to make friends, and everybody liked my cooking. Like, because I started to teach myself how to cook, and everybody's just like, "Dude, you're the best cook in the world." I'm like, I'm just throwing stuff together right now. So I did it more and more and more to try to get, try to meet new people. It was my way of meeting people and of hanging out, because I don't drink.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I will confirm that. I'm not going to lie. We would go out to bars and stuff like that, and we would take him with us because we knew he didn't drink. So,
man.
We tried hard. We tried to get him to chew, smoke. We tried to get him on everything. Nope. Discipline. That's the discipline.
Only ever did tobacco once, and it was chew, right? So it was our advanced infiltration.
Yeah, they got you.
Well, the whole group was like you remember advanced infiltration, right? It's like you're like a mile down the road and you crawl, and if the drill squads catch you, you got to start over.
Yeah.
And I had the I can't remember what they're called. The reclasses, right? So I had the guys who had already been in. They could have tobacco and smoke and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
They had their phones for most of the day. And they're like, so it was like me and like 3 other retrainers. So, sorry. And they're all doing dip, and they're like, come on, man. And I'm just a kid, man. I'm like, I'm 19 at the time, and never been in the world. And they're like, just do it. If you don't like it, it's okay. Take a little one. So I took a little tiny pinch, took it like a champ, crawled a mile through the woods. And
did you
then like, no, not at all. But right before we like, got done, I was like, yeah, get this out. Didn't have any effect. Won't ever do it again. It's a bad habit for anybody to do. Like, you're smoking right now, man. How much money you spend on that a month?
Oh, dude, I don't spend that much on. Look. We bust
money.
Out
I don't spend money. It's money I don't spend.
Yeah. All right. That was
another thing. I used to have captains come up to me like, because my room was a big deal. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, your room was a big deal.
My room was a big deal.
Oh yeah, it was.
I'd have captains come up and be like, dude, like. All due respect, like, you're a private, man. Like, I can't afford this stuff. How do you, like, you do it? Like, are you selling drugs? I'm like, no. I'm like, sir, I don't spend my money on alcohol and tobacco. I own my car. I'm like, I'm rolling. I'm like, I can spend my money whatever I want to now. I'm like, guys go out. I'm like, you guys have car bills. You guys smoke and you guys drink, and all that adds up tremendously.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It's all right. It is a bad habit to have.
Really bad.
Now, I'm gonna contradict myself because it is a bad habit. But I will say, his room in the barracks, guitars, like everything, like that was a spot to go to when you wanted to play an instrument. That was a spot to come and hang out.
We partied there a lot, man. We really did, because I didn't have any furniture too towards the end, so we could I used to move my guitars in and you weren't there for this, which sucks. But I used to move my guitars and all my equipment kind of in the closet for the weekend or a Saturday night. And we'd set up a table and play cards and chill and do whatever we wanted. I had no furniture. I had so much room in there afterwards.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, oh man, just thinking like the huge difference in. Like, if you're in the Army right now and you went and bought that 2022 Dodge Charger that can't leave the parking lot because you can't afford gas at a 32% interest rate, man, your leader failed you.
But I got much more.
Your leader failed you. Also, not just your leader failed you. You failed yourself because you wanted to.
It's a coming of age thing, man. A lot of people do it, and it sucks, right? I have a buddy, you know him. I'm not going to say his name on here because it's not a good thing, but he knows who he is.
You know who you are.
No, he's with like 3 people. They're at reception in Fort Hood, and they're hanging out at the pavilion smoking, and some dude pulls up in a car. Asked them all if they need rides to the dealership. They all get in. They all bought cars. He got a Dodge Dart at like 30% interest. And the thing blew up on him like a week later. Like, his transmission went out and they wouldn't fix it.
Yeah, dude.
Because he signed the contract. He signed a contract. He didn't get to, they talked him out of all the good stuff. Like, they sold him a crap car. It was a scam. He got that. He went through the right procedures. We got it blacklisted, and we eventually got him fixed. We eventually got the bank to come just take it, and they foreclosed on his stuff. And he had bad credit, but he's working on it now. But he'll be driving. He'll probably be driving, older 2000s vehicles for a while until he can afford to go get a new car.
Yeah, look, stuff like that happens. Stuff like that happens all the time.
All the time. That is one thing leadership really needs to be on. Is new soldiers, and
so I'm not going to put that really on just the leaders. But
Not just leaders, no.
Look,
Obviously.
if you're a new private that's coming into the military and you never had the opportunity, you never been away from your house. Look, do not buy a car at least until you're almost an E4.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna recommend
I could
not
agree.
to. I could recommend that.
I mean, it was nice, right? Because when we got there, like when my group got there, everybody was in Korea already, so we couldn't even go buy a car if we wanted to because we're headed off. So like when you first get in the unit and you're going somewhere immediately, and there's no point of going to get a vehicle, that's so perfect. It's crazy. My advice is to at least wait until you're in the unit for 3 months so you know what you're doing.
Here's the next thing I have. I obviously had to store my stuff.
Right.
Trying to find storage. I only had my motorcycle at that time. Trying to find storage for your stuff is kind of hard. Thank goodness one of my buddies and
his wife wasn't leaving, right?
No, his wife is a saint. She is a blessing.
Dude, we had the same thing. Everybody in Comanche, like when we got back, they're all like, we gotta go to, so and so's house to get all our stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, we all put our stuff in this lady's house. And I'm like, dude. Look, but I did the same thing. I had a guitar, and one of our guys, when he left, I went to basic with him. He got there, they got a house. Right before they left, I'm like, hey man, I got this nice guitar, can you? And she's like, yeah, of course. They stored it for me. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, that's a saint right there, man. So, and I don't recommend doing this. I don't recommend actually storing your stuff at a friend's house. They tell you not to because there are horror stories. There is stories. No.
Wife cheats and then throws everybody's stuff out.
Yeah, and then everyone's in this mix up, which sucks. Right. But all I gotta say is that he knows who he is, and I'm actually gonna say he is a follower on TikTok.
Thank you.
And he
shout out.
He's actually
I know you don't care. Shout out.
Definitely a shout out for him. I do tune into him every once in a while. I kind of see what he's doing. He's a welder. And,
nice. Great job.
I will say, he's out there killing it. He's out there doing it, making it happen. But yeah, his wife was the same, and we were even in the same troop at that time. I was actually in.
Oh, really?
I was in good old Bandit during that time before I moved into
I
HHT.
Didn't know. I thought you were always in HHT.
No, I was in Bandit
wow.
when I first got there. So actually, funny story. My orders when I was going to Fort Hood, I was supposed to be in Comanche.
Okay.
I got to Fort Hood, and they put me in Bandit. And oh man, if you knew Bandit when I first got there, woo, good old Bandit.
Well, dude, I got to the unit, and a fellow had done a rather sketchy thing with a taxi.
Oh,
and
Ninth Army was involved in.
So I got there, and I'm going through, and I'm going through brigade here, in garrison, going through brigade and getting all my stuff done. And they're like, "Oh, who are you going to?" I'm like, kind of sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, what's going on? They all told me the stories about Apache, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't go to Apache. And then all of a sudden I get there, and suddenly just Apache. I'm like, oh no. Dude, 30 minutes later, I adjusted all my paperwork. 30 minutes later, they're like, you're going to Comanche. I'm like, cool.
You're
out of here.
You're like, yes, life saver.
Right?
Hey, good times. I moved to HHT when we got to Korea. I would
probably say that going to Comanche saved my life because if it wasn't for McKinley, I would not be the same person I am. He really helped keep me on track. He obviously knew that I was homeschooled and that, because we went to base together, he knew all my issues. He knew that I was a weird person and he didn't judge me for it. And he helped me figure out what my role in life was going to be. Best friend to this day, man, like brother.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have him, I might have drank. I might have I might have not done my band stuff. So he's big, he's
big
saved my
impact.
life. Definitely. Biggest impact anybody's ever had on my life, probably.
Okay,
besides my wife.
Yeah.
She changed me too.
Hey, absolutely. You brought it up. You know,
you said it last time. You said it last time. It's okay.
What did I say? I knew it was going to happen. As soon as, look, I think that was funny because I used to sit there and text Pace and be like, hey, you in sitting in the tree, first comes love, second comes marriage, and a baby in a carriage. I kept on saying that over and over, man. All right, so what was something that you feared during basic?
During basic, okay, so it wasn't feared. And I can say this with confidence now, right? I can say this without like looking back, and I still cringe, obviously. It wasn't so much feared, right? Because I've never been afraid of anything. I can say that right now. With all confidence. I'm not afraid of anything. Yeah. If I do something, it's out of like not being scared, but being cautious, right? If I step back and like, oh, we shouldn't do that, it's not because I'm scared. It's mostly because I'm being cautious. Like, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to like run in traffic on a major highway. You know what I mean?
What? You're not going to do that? Why wouldn't you?
It's not because I'm scared of dying. I'm not, but I'm not going to die right now. I have somebody to take care of. You know what I mean? There's being conscious and there's being afraid. So at the time that I went in, right, like I said, and I've said this a lot on this episode, I was homeschooled. I'm talking I grew up in Logan, Ohio, in the backwoods. You know, we were 15 minutes away from town, in the woods where they put cabins. Like they turned it all into cabins, right? So, you know, college kids goes out there, rents a cabin, gets drunk and all that stuff, right? But we had 13 acres, so I'm in this bowl. No internet. We couldn't get internet. I didn't have TV till I was like 8, and even then it was really bad. So I never stepped into public school. The only thing I ever did was rodeo. And even then, like our 4-H group wasn't a big 4-H group. So okay. I had one friend growing up other than my brother. I was very much, and they lived an hour away. 4-H was an hour away. I didn't go see these people every day. In the summer, I saw them twice a week, and that was it for a few hours, twice a week while we were riding. But we're working, you know, we're riding. We're figuring out our horses, we're barrel racing, roping, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, there's talk and play in between it all. But I was very, very much sheltered. I didn't go out to parties. I didn't have friends. I didn't do anything. I played games with my brother that was split screen multiplayer because we couldn't get internet to play online games.
Okay.
Right? So I was sheltered. So basically when I got into basic, right, I had a job. So when we moved to Florida, I was 17. I got a job. I worked my butt off, got a car, you know, all the good stuff, right? But I was still very much like, so I kind of opened my shell a little bit. Dude, when I got to basic, it was so crazy, right? You know, the way guys talk to each other, the way things happen, the way, like the stupid feuds and the disrespect thing threw me off a lot. I couldn't comprehend.
Let me pause you real quick. Look, if you're in basic, don't do the drama. Like, if you're going to basic here soon, don't fall for the drama in basic. Because it's not important. It's really not important. All right, you continue.
No, right? But there was like, so I couldn't, 19-year-old me just couldn't comprehend the disrespect. Because I came, you know, my dad was a scout. He was I grew up with all his war stories. I was taught how to do an interview properly at 4. You know, I went to church every day. I was taught, you know, I took classes on how to be a man and how to do things the right way, you know, unto God and all this stuff. When I was like 4 and 5 years old, because we had things, and my dad was a part of the church. We were doing things. It was very, very good. I was always like super sad when people would like in the army, especially in the army, when people was like, "Oh, my dad went to prison. I never really knew him," and talk about how bad the lives are. And I'm like, my dad's a war hero. My mom did. My parents are still together. They adopted 4 kids. I'm like, almost feel bad. Like I had a great upbringing. I really did. Probably one of the best there's been. I give it all to my parents. I really do. They're wonderful people. So So when I got there, man, and like the drill sergeants would like get disrespect and people would like not do what they're told, dude, it mind boggled me. I was so shocked that somebody who enlisted, who did it on their own, like with their own intent, they knew exactly what they were doing, would be so like against it and disrespectful and all that stuff. I never went to sick call, and you'd have people just go into sick call randomly. I had asthma, and I hid it from the drill zones. Nobody ever knew, but I had asthma, bad asthma, and I never said anything because I'm not. And first of all, I'm not what my injuries are. I'm not what my disabilities are. I am me. I can do whatever you can do. You know what I mean? It might take me a little longer in running specifically, but it was a weird thing. And I remember specifically, right, and it might have been a little bit of a humility thing towards the end because I was like, dude. And you know when you get into basic and your emotions and the way who you are and everything, like you're through this roller coaster, man. So towards the end, I remember specifically, right, we're supposed to be cleaning our bay. For our last inspection, like it's a big deal. Drill sergeants went out and they bought all kinds of stuff to get us to clean this bay. Like we had I remember specifically in the bathroom, we had a lot of gunk in between the tiles.
Yeah.
So they bought chemicals and they bought wire brushes. And they're like, get this done. And I remember specifically, like, everybody just sitting down, not doing anything. And I'm in there, like, scrubbing away. And so, like, and I got it done. And it took me, like, 3 days by myself to do it. I remember our drill sergeant was like, he was in the kill zone, we were on the line. He's like, he looked at me because he tasked me with doing it because they knew that I could do it. They would, like, send everybody to lunch and keep me around with a battle buddy. Be like, dude, clean the bay. Like, you're the only one who's going to do it. Just please do it. They were really nice and really, they were, like, really respectful and upfront with me. Like, dude, you're the only one who's going to do it. We know you'll do it. We know you'll get it done and you'll take pride in it. Like, we need you to do this. I'd be like, yeah, Roger Drill Sergeant. Like, I got you. You know what I mean? So, like, and I remember he looked at me specifically and he's like, Roberts, did the bathroom tile get clean? And I was like, yes, Drill Sergeant, I did it. And everybody's like, oh, everybody's like, we helped and stuff like that. And they really didn't. But I remember clicking in my thing that a good leader wouldn't have just taken the credit for it. And I did it right away. You know what I mean? Right away, I'm like, I was a little salty, right? Because I did it.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I put the work in on my hands and knees doing it. I did it. But a good leader would have just been like, yeah, we did it. We got it done. You know what I mean? So that was one of the biggest things for me. I'll say is I don't even remember I don't honestly remember the actual question.
It was so I talked about what was something that I guess in fear.
Right. Okay. So not fear, but it was essentially what I learned and what I adapted to that was quickly a humility check was my big thing.
Okay. So.
And it hit right away. It really did. I'll be honest. It hit right away. And it might have been justified. It might have not been justified. I don't really know 100%. But that was a big thing for me. Yeah, it was that little bit of humility check. Like I said, basic's crazy, but.
All right. So, yeah, basic is interesting. It is a very interesting place. I personally enjoyed basic.
I did too. I really did.
Not going to lie. My favorite phase is red phase. I love. Like, I guess it's kind of like Hell Week a little bit, you know?
I was excited, man. I was so excited because I got all the stories about my dad with the gas. I got these good stories of him in basic and him, like, going through the war and stuff like that. So, like, when we're, like, going to the gas show, I'm so excited. Like, I get to do these things that my dad did. It brought me a lot closer to him. You know what I mean? And that was big for me.
So, something that me working up to join the military when I went through MEPS and everything, I didn't have no fear until I got to Atlanta's airport and I was looking around and I just seen, like, I'm looking at everyone. I'm like, he's joining basic. Everyone had a haircut. Everyone would have got their head shaved. I did not shave my head.
I remember we had a kid in 30th. He had a mohawk. And they're letting us have to get a haircut, and they're like, "This guy knows how to have some fun." It's like half of us already shaving. We just did it to get it over with.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I showed up with kind of a beard,
Nice.
long hair. I was like, I'm gonna enjoy every minute of this until they had to shave it off. And then I found out I had to pay $3 for a haircut, and I was like, oh man, this is great.
It's funny. They did it anyways, though. So
Yeah, if you show up bald or not, they're gonna shave your head.
so when did basic like hit for you? Give me like an instance because I have two on my mind right now. Give me an instance that you're like, man, I'm here. I'm really doing this.
The instant that it hit me was we were there in February and we had that time change.
Okay.
All right. We got smoked for hours. I think we got done being smoked. Probably I want to say it was like 1-ish. And then they gave us like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, it was like 3 minutes to go shower. Not even 3 minutes. It was like go in, wipe your junk, and get out.
Oh, dude, we had 20
Like
seconds.
we did a line. You had a towel wrapped around you with your soap in one
We had
hand,
20 seconds.
and they're like, next group, and you're like rushing in there, you hurry up and shower, like next group, and you're like, I didn't even like I still got soap on me. Like
I didn't get soap on me. They're like, go, done.
So I remember that, and then it was the time, and they were like, all right. They told us we had to be up at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to say it was time back, so the time changed. Well, all of our clocks was like we showed like 3, and we didn't know, and they're coming in. Why you get up like smacking everything? I was like, oh man, I'm here. Like, what's happening?
Right. So, for me, it was when because that night, and it was funny, right? Because 30th AG wakes us up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "You're gonna get up early in this in basic," and then you get up at 4 o'clock in basic. So that's really funny. But no, it was the drill was coming at like 3:15 in the morning, and they had that metal trash can, and they threw it across like I was like they threw it. I was the second bunk, the second or third bunk, and they threw it like the first or second bunk, and it hit, and you wake up and the lights are on, and you're like, this is real. This is I'm here. This is happening. It clicks it instantly. It's like a literally a light switch. Like you flick it and it's on. And you're like, what the fuck did I just do?
It really is.
You're like, so, oh my gosh.
I got a story for 30th AG. All right. I thought I was smart because first day, they're like, all right, you got to be outside in a line, alphabetical order. So run downstairs, get in alphabetical order. We're in uniform. It's cold.
Right.
It is freezing. And they told us no warm weather gear at all. So the first day, none of us put warm weather gear on. We were like, okay, we're going to listen. Second day, I thought I was smart. So I go and put slicks on. So we're sitting outside, everyone's shivering, I'm shivering. I'm like, all right, but I'm not as bad. Well, they decided to put us in one of the buildings. And I swear that heat had to be like at 80.
Nice.
Because I was sitting there, I'm just sweating. And they're like, why are you sweating? I'm like, nothing, Joe, sorry. I'm like, just pouring sweat. So I'm drinking water, trying to stay hydrated. Well, me and this other guy, we were both doing that. And we're getting our dress blues that time. So hurry up and I take them off and everything. And we had the duffel bags on our backs. Well, I'm like, okay, we're smart. Well, we got put back outside. You got to remember, I was just sweating. So now I'm even colder because I got sweat on me. But here's the other thing. Me and this other guy was drinking so much water, we forgot about the bathroom. So we're sitting there in formation, and I'm like, I gotta pee. Like, I gotta pee bad. So then he looked at me, he's like, I gotta pee too. So I'm like, all right, let's go ask this. I'll be your battle buddy. Let's run up there and talk to drill sergeant and see if we can go to the bathroom. Drill sergeant's like, no, go get back in line. Worst thing that we ever did. So we were sitting there, I'm like, I gotta pee. And dude, Dude sits there and he's like, dude, I'm gonna pee my pants. Like, I'm like, I am too. So we're sitting there in formation. We wait till the drill sergeant goes away. Well, I didn't think about cameras. So I go behind the bleachers to take a piss. And in the middle of the piss was like, yeah, Ryder, pull up your pants. I'm like, I'm peeing. So I pull up your pants. I'm like, I'm peeing. Yeah, so definitely got pissed on my pants. But whatever. Other dude, he's like, he pissed his pants. He was like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna piss my pants.
Hey.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta.
Basic is crazy. Basic is so crazy. We had 2 girls get gonorrhea. Okay, like basic is crazy. Yeah, 2 girls got. It was gonorrhea break out in the girls' barracks. It was crazy.
Man, that's crazy. That is.
Yeah, dude, the females are. No disrespect to any females in currently, but y'all know y'all basic are nasty.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I got one more question for you because we're running out of time here. I want to know what's that point, because you said you enjoyed basic a lot. What was the point in basic that it clicked in your head that this is actually just like, dude, like, we're in the Army, we're going to have some fun with it. Like, what was the incident that clicked in your head that time?
The incident that clicked in my head was one of the drill sergeants. Man, that guy. Oh man, he was very intense. He was our like the head drill sergeant, not like the first sergeant, but he was like the of our platoon. So
okay,
he would have been the platoon sergeant in retrospect. But that guy, we were marching, and he starts his way he did cadences, bro. It just got you amped. Right. And then there was we were in 515. All right.
Same.
We're Charlie 515, and there's Alpha, and we're going by Alpha, and it was hilarious. As we're going by Alpha, we're doing down by the river, and we're calling out the Alpha troop. They're outside scrubbing their stuff, right? Because they're about to graduate, and we're just calling them out, and it's raining, and their drill sergeant tells them to go and start yelling back at us.
So it was raining.
Yes, it was
okay. Interesting. Continue.
Yeah, it was raining. It was cold. And we're yelling at them, like doing our cadence, and the drill sergeant's like, "Get him! Get him!" Yeah.
So that's really interesting to say that, right? Because my instance, right? It was like probably the first Sunday. I think it was Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday because we were in PTs for dinner chow. And you dinner chow, you go out, you have to line up in formation. Yeah. Everybody's filling up their camelbacks and stuff like that, right? And then you all get smoked during red phase anyways, because that's just what happens. So they didn't smoke us today, and we're like, that's weird, right? Because it's red phase, after dinner, breakfast, and like they always smoke you. It's just what they do, right? So we're getting ready to walk back, and it starts raining. It starts pouring down. They're like, all right, cool. Half right. So we all saw, half right face. We all get in the mud. We're all doing push-ups. And it's raining, which is interesting because you said it was raining too, right? It might be the rain, man. But I'm pushing in the rain. I'm just like, a big smile on my face. I'm like, it's all going to be okay. This is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's weird. That's a weird coincidence.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We didn't get females until we got like later on through the phases, so we didn't have females at first. To me, I never been to boys camp. Like I never did camp, never did like that. I did like space camp, but I never did like boys camp, right? But if there was a camp, that's how I would want camp to be.
Oh, dude, basic was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The only thing that if I could change one thing, it'd be no music. I love music, and that almost killed me, but hey, it's okay.
Dude, I guess we again.
Everyone once in a while, the drill sergeant played something.
Yeah,
and that was nice.
Yeah. Our drill sergeant was big with AC/DC, So
Okay,
of course we got amped. My biggest challenge through basic was rucking. I would say rucking. At first, rucking. At the end of it, like once we got and we're gonna earn our sabers. I sat there and I was like, this is actually like. I sat there and I was like, some people were like had tears in their face, and I was like, no, dude, I'm not done. This is the beginning.
My biggest was running. And I could always pass the PT test, no problem. But it was those times where they're like, all right, take a lap, be back here in a minute, or you're going to be taking another lap. And, you're trying not to be that guy that falls behind and makes everybody have to run again. And then somebody's behind and you're like gasping for air and you're like, your asthma. And I'm like, I don't know that I can continue on. And I did. Obviously you have those little moments. That was probably the hardest thing for me was those little moments of, dude, you might have an asthma attack. This isn't good. But I couldn't say anything because, I didn't want to get kicked out.
All right, so I'm going to throw this FTX in there real fast. Another time that I sat there, I thought I was smart because you know how you get how they throw those, I forgot what they're called, but it's supposed to simulate like a bomb coming into
the auditions.
Yes, so they were throwing those, and my like section platoon, we fell asleep. We fell asleep the entire time. Like they went and took pictures of us all sleeping multiple times.
I have a great story or something like that too.
Yeah, so we were sleeping, right? And they obviously throw it in and we wake up, we get up, get our stuff and move. Well, I got sick and tired of packing my ruck. I got sick and tired of throwing my sleeping bag, stuffing it and everything. I got tired of that. So I pull out the poncho. And I'm RTO at this time.
Okay.
You got to do your radio checks.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the nights that I did this with my poncho, I did my radio checks. You know why? Because I didn't sleep.
Yeah, right.
I had only my poncho on the floor, and it was freezing cold. But I stayed awake, did my radio checks. Next thing we did on that night, I remember moving, and the drill sergeants told us scouts sleep in the hardest places ever. So we found the most swampiest place that you could find, and we saw this storm coming in. And the drill sergeant said, do not pull out your own wet weather gear. I set my ruck up on this little island, put my feet in the mud, and sit on my ruck all night, shivering, just while it's pouring rain. And I was like, this is why I joined.
Right? You just remind me of two great instances, and I can tell them probably before we run out of time, right? You said your feet was in the puddle, right? It reminds me, we did Buddy Team Live Fire in, it was just in Comanche. It wasn't basic. We had a good captain who got us to do a lot of cool stuff. I remember, dude, we had in this particular instance, it was the last go. I got to be it too. We had a full combat load.
Nice.
So I shot about 900 rounds myself that day.
Nice.
In that one go. It was fantastic. But I remember specifically, dude, there was this big hole. It was raining. It was pouring that day. It's a little bit cold. And I'm standing up in the hole. There's water up to here. I'm sitting up in that hole, just fucking. It's so great, right? I'm just like, my captain's just like, dude, that's dedication.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just like, I'm standing up. The water's up to here. I'm just rifle up, just like going at it. It was great. Anyways, last story, right? Because you said FTX, Artie Sims, right? Reminded me of it. It's a great story. So we got there, and third platoon. It's our night to do our night ops. So we go and we do our night operation. They're taking a few at a time because they're doing a small recon.
Yeah, by squad.
Yeah, and I got to sneak up in the drill sergeants. I killed all the drill sergeants. One of the instructors was like, "Dude, you're eerily quiet." It was a good night for me, right? Well, I'm having a great time. So we're back, and the drill sergeant come over. He's like, "Look," he's like, "You guys," he's like, "We still got guys over there." He's like, "You guys will come back, just go to bed." He's like, "Go to sleep." He's like, "You guys can have 25% security tonight. Like, just have two guys walking the perimeter at any time." It's like, I don't care how you do it. He's like, if you want to do it by 30 minutes, do it by 30 minutes. He's like, just have two guys walking around. Nobody else has to be up. You guys can sleep. It's okay. Right? Because we were up all night. We weren't going to get a lot of sleep anyways. He wanted us to be prepared for the rest of the FTX. Really cool, right? Well, the first sergeant didn't know this. Lack of communication. Right? So when we got back, dude, my whole squad, we're all sitting up and we're talking and chilling, and we had an NCO from he come from the Navy. He had been to SEER school, level 3. So we did really cool stuff. So he's telling us these great stories, right? So we go to bed late, and my scrape at the time was like this, right? It was like a nice thing. It was completely flat. I dug it out really nice. So I'm sitting chilling in my little hooch. I got the rifles pointed up, like I made rifle stands so it looked like I'm pulling security. If somebody wanted to like figure out if I was pulling security or not, they could see my rifle. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, cool, he's in there. He's, if they like talk to me, I would wake up obviously because I don't like sleeper back then. But I'm in my king. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling in my shirt and my underwear. Just kind of, it's hot. Let it kind of air out, man. My scrape buddies are all right. I can see, right, and my scrape was flat on the ground. It was completely covered. You couldn't see. You couldn't tell it was there. But I had about this much sight on the back end, and I'm like looking at the back end, watching everybody. We have our guards out. We're good, right? So the fucking language. Sorry. The first sergeant's walking by, and he's like looking under the scrapes, and he sees me, and I'm like, like, what's up? And he's like walking next way. Dude, the next two, they're both just asleep, and the one scrape is horrendous, dude. It's like literally like a TP-10. He comes over, looks at me, he pulls out a C2 grenade, pops it, and throws it in their scrape, and the scrape is on them. Dude, they're freaking out. The one guy freaked out. He's like out of the thing, coughing, crying, like all the works. I just kind of like put my mask on. I'm just kind of like sitting there chilling, right? And then all of a sudden I hear like he's convulsing. He left his battle buddy in the scrape. The grenade was in there, and the whole pod just fell in on it, and he's shaking, and we like pulling him out, trying to wake him up. It was so, and he wakes up, he's like, like he's freaking out. And then all of a sudden, dude, we take fire, right? I mean, specifically, right? We took fire, and I am out. I just kind of like propped my leg out on the scrape. I had my M4 on my knee, and I'm just full auto pulling the trigger, like yawning, just like barely outside of my scrape, in my underwear, just. We're all, none of us are actually like shooting because, it doesn't matter. We're all just kind of like guns in the air, blasting off to show them that we're up. And then the next one was like, sorry guys, I forgot to tell them that you guys were okay.
Dude, that's great.
It's one of my favorite stories from that specific thing. Dude, they had so many C2 grenades that day, or that week anyways, because they had the full week of the FTX. You're getting back and you're touching your gear to clean it, and you're like, oh no. like we're trying to like put like bags and Bradleys and strikers and get them up and get them out, and just like, Pepper's still falling your face in a week, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Dude, I love that.
Favorite story from Basic.
I love that. We will actually have to continue just talking about our experience inside.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so sucks that we got to end this right now, but we will maybe we'll do this for the next episode. Just continue.
I like it.
Yeah. So again, if you like what we're talking about, and you like hearing our experiences that we had, and look, some of the times it's bad and it's good, and if this amps you up,
we're learning.
Hey, if this amps you up, and you want it, and you're like looking to join. Dude, do it.
Another thing, if you've been in, or you're in, or you were in at one point, or whatever the case is, and you got some great stories and you want to tell them, email us. It's in the description of every video, man. Email us. Get on here. We'd love to have you. We'd love to hear your stories.
Yes. So.
Or you got a good story to tell.
Yeah.
Good stories, man. Good stories.
I can tell you, my experience in the military is totally different than my buddy says. It's totally different than his. Our experiences are totally different. Like, you could do the same. You could join as the same job and have totally different experiences.
We all got great stories, so come on and tell it.
Yeah. So, well, let's.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. We're on Spotify right now and a few other streaming platforms. Go like the pages, follow us, comment, call us pieces of crap if you want to. We don't care. We love you. Thank you.
We'll keep on giving you love. Yeah. The good old talk of the tick, all of it. Go like and subscribe us. Enjoy our videos. Enjoy what we're doing.
Thank you.
We are truly thankful for all of you guys that are currently in went out there and did stuff where your first responders, everyone. We thank all of you guys for what you're doing. We also, if you're looking to join, do it. A lot of people tell you not to do it, but I'm telling you, you'll build friendships. You will build crazy things off of it. Highly recommend it. It changes your world.
Hashtag Fiddler Initiative. Go do your Fiddler Initiative today. I got to go to the gym still and knock out something that sucks. So use that hashtag. Yes. Show us you're doing it. Show us you love us. We love you too. Reaper 1 out.
Yes. I'm about to do the same thing. About to hit the gym too. Saber Main out.